Right, so we're back with another of the 1983 Mr. Olympia. This is from the February 1984 issue of Muscle and Fitness. Somehow I skipped over into the March issue for the last video, but I thought I'd already done this one. Apparently not. So Frank Zane and Lori Bowen on the cover of this one. So we're going to go right to the Mr. Olympia coverage, which of course was written by the commentary was written by Rick Wayne, and of course there's the champ Samir Banout right there. Pretty awesome pose. There's kind of the lineup with Frank Zane at the kind of close end, and then you can see Lee Haney kind of in the middle, his first Olympia appearance, and of course there's Joseph Vilkosh, and there's Samir there. I think that's Lance Dreher at the end, who was the American champion. So, sorry about that. We skipped a page. Sorry. So here's first place again, of course, Samir. He looks pretty good. Probably this could have been his best ever. His back was definitely probably the best in the show, which might have actually won him the show. I mean, he was a package, the whole thing, but he didn't really have much in the way of weaknesses. Perhaps by today's standards, his thighs might have been a little bit small or thin or whatever. Here's a couple of good shots here. Really classic shot right there. Lat spread, but they've cropped the picture. Kind of that hands on the hips, most muscular, which I really like the aesthetic of that. And there he is with his Sandow trophy. And then we have second place again, of course, Mohamed Makawi from Egypt. And talk about aesthetic and just perfect or near perfect genetics. There's a great classic shot right there. That's obviously in the middle of his free posing routine. There's some more shots right here. So from pretty much every angle, he really didn't have any weaknesses. Just wasn't very tall. And third place, Lee Haney, with another sort of crucifix type of vacuum going on there or something. A couple more shots. There's a pretty good picture right there of him doing a kneeling sort of front double biceps. And then there's a twisting back double biceps, kind of Arnold style. And there he is doing his front lat spread. From that point on, I don't think there was anybody, and probably even by today's standards, that was Lee Haney's front lat spread. To me, was his absolute killing pose that pretty much just destroyed everybody else. It was, I think, his best pose was his front lat spread. There's him doing front double biceps, just the upper body. Here's his rear lat spread. And then fourth place was Frank Zane. He looked good, just not his maybe absolute shredded self like he was in the late 70s when he won his three, 77, 78, and 79. But, the thing about Frank is he wasn't the biggest or heaviest guy, but of course his posing was, really good for his type. And he could just hit stuff and make himself look. He could hit the poses and make himself look bigger than he actually was. And there's Bertil Fox, who was in fifth place, looking absolutely massive. Sixth place, of course, was Joseph Vilkosh from Germany. He trained with Franco and Arnold for a while. And then, here's more. I'm sorry, more of Bertil. I'm doing almost about to do a victory pose here. Front lat spread. Yeah, he was I'm pretty sure he was the biggest. Well, I guess at that show it'd be debatable who was more massive, him or Lee Haney, but Bertil was definitely pretty massive. Not that Joseph Wilkoch wasn't massive, because he's at least a 6'1" bodybuilder, probably weighing around 240 or something like that. It's a pretty good shot right there. Then these are just a mix of different shots of Zane's back, Johnny Fuller's bicep. Wait, did I miss? I missed the other guys? Maybe not. They're going to show the other guys here. There's Christmas tree there from Samir. Definitely was not looking terrible. Jacques Neuville from France. There's Samir. There's Lance Dreyer's arm. It wasn't like he was last place, but I wouldn't mind having Dreyer's genetics, that's for sure. There's Bertil Fox's back, which it was pretty, for the time, that was amazing. There's a Jacques Neuville again. Al Beckles looking really amazing. Zane again. And again, here's a Christmas tree of Samir getting ready to do his rear lat spread behind McWay's deltoid and bicep and tricep and forearm. Pretty amazing. Here we go. Here's the rest of the guys in their placing. So Al Beckles took 7th place. To me, Al Beckles was just the classic kind of age-defying bodybuilder. Competed, I guess, right into his 60s. It's just, to me, that's just astonishing. And just always, never looked bad. Off season, in season, on stage, off stage, in the gym. He always looked amazing. Johnny Fuller, another guy that looked pretty awesome. Looked like he suffered a pec tear. Many guys, of course, Kevin Levrone, he suffered a pec tear. So yeah, you can kind of see it right there, the pec tear. Sylvester Stallone, he suffered a pec tear. A bunch of guys suffered pec tears from mostly heavy barbell bench pressing. And there's Hubert Metz from Germany. He was a taller, thinner type of bodybuilder. I have that body type, the more ectomorphic body type, but he's filled his frame out absolutely incredibly. There's 10th place Jacques Neuville from France. When I first saw him, I was like, holy crap, this guy's going to be the next Zane, because he was really, that perfect kind of aesthetic physique. There were just his sharp abs, and everything else was just dialed right in. There's another shot of Hubert Metz there doing a sort of a one-arm bicep pose. And there's again Jacques Neuville kind of doing a semi-relaxed one-arm kind of pose there. Real classic. James Galvert took 11th place. He looked pretty good in that. Dale Rupplinger, he had won the Nationals, I think, that year. Became a pro. He looks pretty good there, that's for sure. That bicep and that tricep are nothing to criticize, that's for sure. And it wasn't like he was not in shape, because there's pretty tough, that lower back. There's not much in the way of body fat right there. Another shot of Galvert. Gerard Banout, nice twisting single arm bicep shot, kind of like Arnold style, but in a kneeling position. Shredded glutes even back then. That was definitely a sign that he was in shape and ripped to shreds. Looking good in that semi-victory pose right here too. His abs are just in all of this detail, and his quads. This is the sartorius muscle. And if you can see your sartorius, which, even back then, getting as lean as these guys did, you're kind of dialed in if you can see the sartorius. And the master poser himself, Ed Corney, Arnold's training partner in 1975. And then there's last place, 15th place, Lance Dreher doing a back lat spread. Doesn't look like he's actually hit it totally yet before they took the picture. And then hands over the head, abdominal pose. And, you know, he just wasn't as formidable then as some of the other guys. And I'm not sure, you know, he was Mr. America. I'm not sure what happened to him. He kind of faded out. And then there's just more sort of candid photographs during the lineup and the posing, pose down and comparisons. There's Samir with Lee Haney kind of below him. I guess they had a two level posing area here, but just more shots. Here's Sane and Samir and Muhammad Makawi there. You know, pretty good shots here. There's a good one of Lee Haney. You can really see the detail in his pecs and really everything. And there's Zane trying to go up, you know, show the perfection up against the beast, the big man. But you know, after that it was all Lee Haney for the next 8 years. And there's the champ at the end there with second place, Muhammad Makawi. And then there's a really cool little article here, Bigger Biceps, with Mike Christian. I don't know if anybody remembers him. He was a pro, pretty good. I think he was at least a 6'1" bodybuilder. He was trying to go after Lee Haney back in the day. Some funky exercises, some pretty standard exercises. I always liked the incline barbell or incline dumbbell curl. There's a comparison from him from one year to the next, looking at his improvements. Probably also improvements in the drug use, but we won't go there. There's some standard barbell curls. There's a sort of an interesting pose there, a preacher curl. He takes it to the extreme as far as range of motion. And then quickly, there was an article here with Matt Mendenhall. Like I mentioned before, I saw a video recently where he was in the top 10 of most genetically gifted. He looks pretty amazing right there. And then here's a quick article about peak contraction, and I just thought it was pretty cool to see this really awesome, this old classic photo of the Black Prince, Robbie Robinson. His biceps were absolutely insane. I mean, I don't even know today, even today, Robbie's biceps are probably still, you know, flipping amazing, and guys in his 70s. Anyway, so that was that. Just wanted to go back and make sure I completely covered the 1983 Mr. Olympia. So thanks for watching, and we'll do 1984 next.